Good. As you can tell, Kanoa's wearing his leg day shorts today, showing off the quads and the hammies.
Last week they were too long.
We got some complaints for that. Good morning, everybody. How you guys doing? It's me, Ryan, again, here with Kanoa. We're going to be going over week 2 of our hypertrophy push-pull leg workout, all right? So if you guys got last week already, you should have done 2 leg days, 2 push days, and 2 pull days. Now this is going to be your second week, starting off with our very own leg day. The structure is still the same. However, we have plugged in some new movements for you guys. Up on the TV here, you see we're starting off with barbell front squat. Last week we did the kettlebell goblet squat or the front squat. This week we're going to do the front squat. If you guys at home don't have a barbell, it's all right. We're still going to use the kettlebell, but if you guys have access to a barbell, we're going to be using a barbell this week. Our superset this week is going to be weighted lunges and then hamstring curls with a yoga ball. And then finally we're going to end with some lateral lunges. Now, if you don't have all that equipment right away, don't worry about it. We'll find some stuff to kind of, make do with what we got. But for now, before we do anything, we're going to warm up Kanoa, all right? So, first things first, last week we warmed him up with jump rope just to get his heart rate going. This week we're going to start him off with some kettlebell swings, all right? What I like to do personally is I like to set a timer. Let's say we set a timer for 1 minute. You can go ahead, you can start swinging. Just always trying to get out of work, right? So I will set a timer maybe for like 1, 2, maybe even 3 minutes, depending on how advanced you guys are, and just 3 minutes straight of kettlebell swings, or even you could do 3 or 4 minutes straight of just movement with the kettlebell, right? So you're moving without putting the kettlebell down. But for today's sake, we're just gonna have him do about 50 kettlebell swings just because he kind of already warmed up before you guys got here, because he's a good trainee, so to speak. But notice when Kanoa's doing his kettlebell swings, he's only coming up to chest height, Russian kettlebell swings. He's bringing his hips straight back, his knees are slightly unlocked, toes are pointed forward, and he's really getting a big drive from his glutes. Since we're doing lower body leg day today, we're going to warm up our quads, hamstrings, glutes. We're going to warm up forwards, backwards, and laterally, right? Remember, our body moves in all those different planes of movement, so we want to make sure that we're hitting all those before we even get underneath the barbell. All right, Kanoa, go ahead, relax. I know you're probably tired. He's already starting to breathe heavy a little bit. What I'm going to have you do now is we're just going to do some scoops. You guys, if you've ever taken Cole Feaster's class, you guys have done these a ton. We're just going to reach down, scoop towards your heel, come right back up, right? So I'm just going to have Kanoa do like 6 per side here. Like I said, he kind of warmed up before we started working out. But just to show you guys watching, this right here, we're just warming up some hamstrings, some hips. Good, good. He's got long legs, so he'll make it about halfway down the turf.
Scooping up that money.
There you go. Yeah, he's scooping up that money. Or sand, if you're at the beach. All right, now coming back, I'm just going to have him do walking lunges, all right? Nothing fancy. There should be a 90-degree angle in his front knee and his back knee. Chest stays straight up. And I'm not going to give you a predetermined rep range here. I just kind of want you to work through it until you feel good, until you feel warm, until you feel loose, all right? We're still going to do some stretches before we actually get under the bar, so don't worry too much about if you still feel a little bit tight after this. Now, after we do our forward lunges, we're just going to do lateral lunges. So I'm going to have him start facing this way. I'm going to have him step all the way out, chest up, both feet stay pointed forwards. I'm going to go one side to the other, and then I'm going to have him actually shift over and go right back into it, all right? So same thing, I don't really have a predetermined rep range for Kanoa here. I'm going to have him go at least 4 per side, but if you guys at home watching this need 8 or 10 before your hips start feeling loose, go for it, right? There's no exact science. Good, good. And he's doing a really good job keeping his toes pointed forward. Try and keep your chest up just a little bit more. Good. As you can tell, Kanoa's wearing his leg day shorts today, showing off the quads and the hammies.
Last week they were too long.
We got some complaints for that. Good, all right, come on back over here. We're gonna warm up his glutes a little bit. So I'm gonna have you go ahead and lay on your back right here.
I like that.
Yeah, little nap stretch. Now we're gonna go single leg hip bridge, right? So I'm gonna have you start with your right leg. So we're gonna drive through your right heel. I want you to kick this leg up in front of you. So we'll go 90 degrees at your knee. There you go. Try and point this toe up if you can. Here, if you come get a side view, Cole. Now all I'm gonna have you do is you're just gonna drive this hip straight up into the air through this leg. We're gonna go 8 reps per side. Good, relax. Come on back up. Good, now you should feel that in your hamstrings, your glutes, maybe a little bit in your quads, but we're really focusing on hamstring and glutes here. You notice he's making a straight line between his shoulder, hip to knee. Everything's locked in, his core isn't falling down. Good, good. If you wanna make this a little bit harder, take your arms, hold them right out in front of you. Good. Let's go ahead, let's get one more and then we'll switch legs. Good, go ahead, relax. Let's go to the other leg. Try and lift those toes up if you can. Good. Now you can even come around to the other side. Make sure he's hitting all the angles. Now same thing for you guys at home. Anywhere from 6 to 12 reps per leg. If it's a cold morning, right, we might want to get a few more reps in before we get under the barbell. Luckily for us, it's about 85 down here in the South Bay, so. Good, when you're done, go ahead, sit up. Good, now what I'm gonna have you do is we're gonna do the box stretch with your hips, right? So if you remember, we did this last week. I'm a big fan of it because I personally have super tight hips all the time. I like to form a 90-degree angle between both my legs. So right here is 90, this should be close to 90. And now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shift my weight all the way over without picking my feet up off the ground. Right, so I'm just rotating my weight over and over without my feet coming off. Good, so if you come over here, watch Kanoa. Good, good. So he has a little bit more trouble flipping over just because he's gonna be a little bit tighter right here. So come on back. Good, good. So he's doing a good job of making sure his feet stay on the ground. Good, go ahead, come on back. We're gonna go about 4 more reps. There you go, come on. A few more.
4 more, huh? All right.
Now for you guys at home, if this is easy, if you're breezing through it, no problem. 1, good, means you have good mobility. But 2, you can kind of add in a little lift at the end, right? You can really kind of come all the way through and drive your glutes, big squeeze at the top, and then relax. If you can't, don't worry about it. It's something we'll slowly progress into. For now, we just want to make sure that your hips are loose and that you're ready to move.
Is that 4?
Good, this will be your last one.
All right.
Good, go ahead, stand up. All right, then last thing I'm gonna have him do, actually we're gonna have him do 2 last things. I guess, whatever, it doesn't matter. But we're gonna go single leg RDL, anywhere from 8 to 10 per side. All right, so we're gonna unlock the knee, come down, touch that toe, come right back to neutral. For Kanoa's sake, I'm just gonna have him do 4 per side. And then we're gonna do a little core warm up, and then we're gonna get on the barbell. Good, good. You notice his knee stays unlocked. He's got a little instability in his ankle. If you guys remember from last week, we talked about his shoes. It could have to do somewhat with his shoes. It could have to do with his feet are a little bit weak. Maybe we got to go barefoot a little bit more.
Yeah.
Good, all right, go ahead, switch to the other side. Good, unlock that knee. There's a straight line. There should be a straight line running from his shoulder all the way through that back leg. Good, lift that leg up a little bit higher. Good, good. Go ahead, get 2 more. Good, one last one. Ooh, it was a little shaky on that last one. All right, go ahead. Now, last thing I'm gonna have you do, lay on your back. We're just gonna do some dead bugs, warm up his core before we get under the bar. Good, so lay back. Good, knees at 90 degrees. Now we're just gonna go 1 leg at a time, kicking that leg all the way out in front of you, tap that heel on the ground, and bring it right back. All right, for his sake, we're just gonna go 4 each side. For you guys at home, feel free to do as many as you need to before you feel ready. Good, good. Now there should be no room down here. I shouldn't even be able to fit a piece of paper underneath his back.
Last one.
Good, good. Last rep. Awesome. How do you feel?
Warm.
All right, go ahead, pop up. All right, now from here, we're gonna take Kanoa straight over to the squat rack because our first movement is going to be barbell front squats. All right, so come on, follow us. We already got our conveniently located barbell with weight on it.
Wow, how'd that happen?
So to start, I'm gonna start Kanoa off at 115. All right, first of all, one thing I kind of want to emphasize before we even get into this, if you guys are using or watching this video right after quarantine, let's say you guys are coming into the gym right after quarantine ends, you don't want to go based on the numbers that you were using before quarantine, all right? If you're like the rest of us who haven't really been doing a whole lot for 2.5 months, to come into the gym and use those same numbers you were using before this all happened to now, you're bound to get an injury, right? So we're going to start Kanoa off a lot lower than what he normally would be. I'm not trying to bag on him, but this before quarantine was cake, right? Cake. Today, we're going to start with this just because we want to make sure that we build him up gradually, right? So we're going to get Kanoa into the front rack. So go ahead, show them how you kind of set up for the front rack. If you come over here, Cole. His hands are set up right outside of his shoulders. He's going to go ahead and get underneath the barbell. Good. His elbows are going to come straight up. Set your feet. Take a big breath. Lock everything in. Walk that weight out. Good. One thing I like about Kanoa when he sets up is he only takes 4 steps. So he's under the barbell. He's going to walk it out. And then he's going to take 2 steps to set his feet, right? Anything more than that is just going to add extra instability in the barbell, right? So 4 steps, walk it out, set your feet, and you're ready to squat, all right? Now from here, his toes are pointed forward, feet slightly outside shoulder width. He's going to break at the hips, break at the knees, and he's going to come back down into a squat. Chest stays up. Good. Right back up. So we're still staying in that 8 to 12 rep range, except this week we have a programmed 6-second eccentric. So we're going to count out loud, make sure he gets it every single rep. So go ahead, come on down. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up. Good, good. So we got 6 reps left here. Go ahead, come on down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good, again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good, up. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up. Go ahead, finish up those last 2 reps. For those of you guys at home, if you have access to somebody to count for you, that's going to be way better because I guarantee you Kanoa's 6 seconds are a lot faster than my 6 seconds, especially when he's underneath the barbell, right? Good, all right, go ahead, rack it. Good, good. So we cut Kanoa at 8 reps. Remember, you have anywhere from 8 to 12 reps. 8 being the minimum, 12 being the maximum. We want to find a weight that's difficult, that's within that rep range, right? Nothing that you can't do for more than 8 and nothing that you're going to be able to do for more than 12, if that makes sense. All right. Same as last week, we're going to give him anywhere from a 60-second to a 90-second rest right now, just to kind of catch his breath. We're going to let his heart rate recover, but we're not necessarily going to let his muscles recover. All right. So we're really going for hypertrophy here. We're really going to build his legs, build his core, build his glutes, build his hammies. How does this weight feel? Do you want to stay here?
Yeah, we'll stay here. No.
We'll stay here. Now, last week, I don't know if you guys remember, we kind of went over Kanoa's footwear. If you guys can see this, if you kind of get a closer look, you see how it's got an elevated heel and an elevated toe, and it's just real soft. So when he's squatting, what that's going to do is going to cause a little bit of ankle instability. So it might not be noticeable, but he probably feels it when he comes down. He feels like his feet aren't really anchored into the ground. We kind of talked about certain footwear that you can wear that try to avoid that, like the Nike Metcons kind of have a flat bottom. Vans, Converse, and I know a lot of you guys like wearing more of like a running shoe because obviously, you know, you're a little bit more cardio focused, you focus a little bit more on running. But if you just slip an old pair of Vans or an old pair of Converse into your gym bag with you, that way you always have a pair of squatters. I would very much recommend that for you guys. Just because if you're working out here at Afterburn, you're not allowed to work out barefoot, just in case, you know, you drop like a 45-pound weight or whatever on your toe. Just having something like that in your gym bag, I feel like is always an essential go-to. So because Kanoa, I guess, only owns 1 pair of shoes, he's just got to deal with it today. All right, now I think that's been about a minute, so we're going to get him right underneath the barbell again. We're going to count out that 6-second eccentric for the first like 3 reps, and then I'm going to kind of let him do his thing. But we're going to, same thing, we're going to set up, hands right outside shoulder width apart. Go ahead, get underneath the barbell. Elbows straight out, good. Good, walk that weight out, 4 steps. There we go, toes stay pointed forwards. Good, good. His feet stay flat. He's driving through his whole foot when he squats up. Up, good, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up. Attaboy. Good. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good, good. Make sure your core stays locked in. I know you're tired. I know you're breathing heavy. Let's get 3 more. 6. Good, good. Let's get 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Kanoa's doing a good job of catching his breath up at the top of each rep. So I personally wouldn't take any more than like 5 seconds, 5, 6 seconds up at the top. But if you need it, come up, hold that weight, big breath, brace everything, lock it in, and then go ahead, drop into your squat. Up. As long as that weight doesn't get re-racked, then I still consider it the same set. How'd that feel? So even though this isn't necessarily even close to what Kanoa's 1 rep, 2 rep, or even 6 rep max would normally be on a front squat, because we add in that 6-second eccentric, we can really crank up the intensity of the workout without having to shoot the weight up super high, risk injury, especially coming out of quarantine. The eccentric movement is definitely a good tool you can use really on any workout to kind of increase the intensity, increase how difficult it's going to be. Obviously, as this program continues, as he kind of gets more used to it, we're obviously going to start loading on the weight more and more. But for now, we're really going to focus on that eccentric movement. And then for those of you guys at home with a kettlebell, let's say you don't have a barbell. Just have someone count it out loud for you, right? It's the same thing. We're still loading the front of our body. Obviously, I mean, to have a 135-pound kettlebell at home, I mean, you got to have, right? You got to have some room for that thing. But as long as I'm incorporating that eccentric part of the movement, and I'm really focusing on taking my time coming on the way down and exploding up, you're still going to be able to get a great workout out of it. And you can still progress from that. Yeah, that is very true. You're only cheating yourself, right? So we're going to give Kanoa here another 30 seconds, let him catch his breath. Is there anything you want to share?
I do find the biggest thing when I'm front squatting is making sure when I come up from the bottom of my squat is I lead with my elbows, right? If you try and lead with your hips first, right, with your legs, what happens? You fall forward, okay? So when you're down there, try to mentally think elbows, 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 and then push to your left.
Yeah, so
if you push hips first, right, you go forward, and all that way comes.
And what we'll do is on this next set, we'll film Kanoa from the front. So we get, first of all, we get that awesome squat face. But second, you guys will actually be able to see what he's talking about in terms of driving those elbows up through the bottom of the squat, right? So I'll give you, what, 10 seconds, then we'll get into it?
Yeah, I did talk a little bit.
He's wasted his breath talking to the camera. All right, so come over here, Cole. We'll watch him from the front. All right, this is a close-up squat face right here. I hope you're ready. Don't make it look hard. All right, let's do it. Good. You notice, so he starts with his elbows nice and high. Good. 4 steps, set your feet. Now really focus on Kanoa in the bottom of his squat. So we're gonna come all the way down, we're gonna get that nice count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. His elbows are gonna drop straight up, right? So his elbows are parallel with the ground the entire time. Up. Good, good. I'll count it out for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up. Attaboy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. That one's a little bit quick. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Up. Good. Don't let those knees cave in. Drive those knees out as you're squatting. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that was fast. Good. Let's get one more. Like 250. Up. Good. Rack it. Now, Kanoa didn't really have this problem. He had it on like 1 or 2 reps. But if you guys at home are struggling with your knees caving in every time you come up, right? If your knees are caving in when you squat, before you get under the barbell, if you have a band or any kind of band at home, we're gonna wrap it right here around our knees, and we're really gonna focus on driving those knees out. And we're gonna move laterally, right? So that's something that we didn't warm up here with Kanoa, but if you guys at home are really struggling with that, make sure that that's incorporate it into your warm-up. And even if you need to use it while you're squatting, just lower the weight. Lower the weight a lot more. And then if you need to use it while you're squatting with a barbell, you're more than welcome to, right? We're only gonna do 3 sets for Kanoa today. We're gonna give him a little bit of a breather. But for you guys at home, remember, you have 4 sets here, anywhere from 8 to 12 reps. So if you guys are feeling burnt out right now, feel free to lower the weight just a little bit. Remember, we still wanna only go from 8 to 12, right? So don't lower the weight so much to where now you can do 30 reps. But we're gonna give Kanoa a little bit of a breather here. All right, guys, so you should have just finished up your 4th set of front squats. Now we're gonna be moving into our superset of the day, right? So we're gonna be focusing a little bit more on volume, pumping some blood into our legs. Our first portion of the superset is going to be weighted lunges. Now, because we're here in the gym and we have access to a barbell, we are going to be using weighted front rack lunges. And I'm gonna actually elevate Kanoa's front foot on a plate here, just to add a little bit extra range of motion for him. For you guys at home, if you don't have a barbell, whatever you have access to, whether it's a kettlebell, whether it's 2 dumbbells, even if you have a barbell but you prefer a barbell on your back, you're more than welcome to do so, all right? But today, because we're in the gym, we are going to be doing front rack elevated lunges, all right? So we're gonna set Kanoa up here. Come on over here, Cole. One thing that we kind of didn't go over while he was front squatting was alternatives to the front rack. We'll do that right after this set. I'll kind of explain some ways around this right here. But for now, we're just gonna have Kanoa do a set of 8 per leg, all right? Good, now be careful stepping onto this plate. Good, catch it. Good, all right, so now Kanoa stepped on the plate. Now from here, we're gonna go alternating 8 each leg. Good, good. Now, things I'm looking for here, one is that his knee doesn't, go ahead, you can keep going, is that his knee doesn't come over his toe too much. Right here in the bottom, if it comes over, go ahead, you can keep going back and forth. Just keep working while I'm talking, you're fine. As long as I notice that he's driving through his whole foot, right, and his heels aren't coming up and he's not loading too much weight into his toes, then I'm happy with the movement. Once he starts driving up his foot like this and he starts driving all through his toes or his knees come shooting way over his foot, then we'll stop him and we'll kind of adjust his technique. And obviously with the shoes, he's kind of got a little bit of ankle instability, making it a little bit tougher on him. As you get tired, remember how Kanoa said, keep those elbows up. We're just gonna go 1 more per leg for you. Good, let's go 1 more. Keep those elbows up, drive those elbows up, core tight. Go ahead, rack the weight. Good. Now, because it's a superset, we are gonna move right into our hamstring curls with a yoga ball. So I'm gonna have you lay down right here on your back. Good. So load your heels on there. Now, just like in our warm-up, I want you to keep your legs all the way extended for now. Good, just like in our warm-up, we're gonna pick our hips, knees, ankles. Now we're just gonna roll that ball to our butt. Good, now your hamstring should be on fire here. Good, come up. Now for you guys at home, if this movement here is too easy, feel free to add 4-second eccentric on the way down, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not gonna do that to Kanoa because I know how difficult these are, especially when you're a big, heavy guy like this guy, full of muscle. I'm just gonna have him do standard rows or standard curls. And we have a little alternative for if you guys don't have a yoga ball at home. Go ahead, let's get 2 more here, Kanoa. Good, 1 last one. Good, rest, rest. All right, catch your breath. While he's catching his breath, I wanna show you guys something over here on the front rack. For those of you guys that just can't get into a front rack or have shoulder issues and it's just not gonna happen, a few alternatives we can do are gonna be the crossover, right? So that barbell's still resting along my chest and my shoulders, and this is gonna be kind of like my support system to make sure that barbell doesn't roll forward. Or if that's even too much, if we have 2 towels, luckily here at Afterburn, we have towels provided by the gym, but we'll just put those 2 towels about where your shoulders would go, and now I have a little bit more give. If you kind of get like a side view, you kind of see, I don't necessarily have to have my arms right on my shoulder. I kind of have about 6 inches worth of give as opposed to my hands being right here, right? That's a little technique that was taught to me by Cole Feaster, actually, I saw him doing it with one of his clients, and I thought it was genius. So, you guys want to give props to anybody? All right. Because of that comment, we're gonna have Kanoa get right back into this superset. we're gonna get right into some lunges here. Good, good. Set those feet up. Good. Now remember, we're gonna be pretty tired at this point, right? We just did 4 heavy sets of squats with that eccentric, and now this is our second set of lunges. So this is where technique is everything, right? We're tired, we're starting to break down a little bit. This is when we really wanna lock our core in, make sure those elbows are driving up, not letting our knees jut too far past our toes, really driving through our whole foot when we're doing our lunges. And these should be blowing up our glutes and our hamstrings like crazy while we're doing these lunges. Good, Kanoa. And everything's under control. You notice on the way up and the way down, everything is smooth. There's no jerky movements. Good, let's get one more. Good, go ahead, rack it. Good, good. Now, let's say we don't have a yoga ball at home, right? But we do have sliders. I'll show you guys a little way that we can kind of cheat the system here. I'm gonna have you go on the sliders this time, Kanoa. Go ahead, lay on your back. These work best with like carpet, these little hard plastic ones, if you don't want to scratch up your hardwood floor at home. Same thing, throw your heels on there. So the first thing I want you to do is so we're gonna start out straight. Good, so I want you to curl your heels up towards your butt, keeping your butt down. So you're gonna curl your heels up towards your butt. Now from here, lift your knee. Good, now slowly, slowly release your heels. Good, good. So if we're not quite at a hamstring curl yet, this is gonna be a good way to kind of get our body ready, get a little bit stronger, and then we can move into a full hamstring curl. Now the important part here is to really focus on that slow, eccentric part of this lift. So right here, this is where we're building the muscle. Good, good, good. Focus on your hamstrings. Good, good. Let's get 2 more. Good, hamstrings, hamstrings. And there's still that straight line running from his shoulder, hip, knees. Good, let's get 1 more. Hips come up, slowly release. Good, good. Rest. All right, we're gonna give Kanoa a little bit of a break here, and then we're gonna get into that 3rd set of the superset. Remember, you guys at home have 4 sets, right? But just for the sake of the video, we're gonna be doing 3 today. And for the sake of Kanoa, really, I mean, that's the big thing. Same thing though, about 60 seconds to 90 seconds rest between each set, all right? We don't wanna do any more, and we definitely don't wanna do any less, all right? We still wanna give ourselves enough time to recover in between sets. It's not about burning as fast as we can. It's about making the most of each and every rep that we have and really, really focusing on progressing, if that makes sense. We're gonna give him about 30 more seconds, and then we're gonna get into this last set. Good, good. Good, go ahead, get into it. So the reason I've got Kanoa doing a lot of front rack stuff, and you guys doing a lot of front rack stuff, is mostly because we want to focus on staying upright during our movements. All the time, if we have a barbell on our back, not to say that we can't stay straight up, but it makes it a little bit easier to kind of lean forward in your squat and your lunge and stuff like that. So just to kind of try and not do that, we're gonna be front loading you guys, keeping the weight in the front, try and keep everything straight up and down. As we progress, I mean, we will start transitioning to some back-loaded stuff, but for now, these first few weeks, we're gonna do everything in the front rack. Good, good. And even here, while he's doing his lunges, you notice that his knees aren't caving in, right? So we're still driving those knees out and controlling that weight as we're lifting it. Good, good, good. All right, now let's finish up that last set. We'll throw you on the sliders because I know you're tired. He's not tired. He's not tired, ladies and gentlemen. Good, drive those hips up, squeeze your butt, slowly release those heels. Good, 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 good. Attaboy, attaboy. Good, core stays tight. Good, keep it up, keep it up. There you go, boom. 3 more. Good, 2 more. Good, 1 last one. Good, good, and relax. Good. All right, now remember, you guys got 1 more set, and then I will meet you guys on our final exercise, our lateral lunges. All right, guys, so now that you finished up your 4 sets of front squats, you finished up your 4 sets on the superset, we're moving into our final movement of the day, which is going to be lateral lunges, right? Because we're gonna be moving in every single plane of movement. We're gonna finish off with the lateral movement because I feel like we don't do enough of that, right? Just as a human race, I feel like we don't do enough lateral movement. We're gonna start Kano off with no weight, right? I feel like these are hard enough to do just without weight. So his first set's gonna be without weight. The second set we'll throw in like a weighted kettlebell, but I'm really not focused on how much weight we're using. We're actually gonna do 8 to 10 reps per leg, which is kind of a lot of volume, especially after we just did 3 exercises, you know, for quite a bit. So we're just gonna have Kano get right into it. We're gonna start him off with his toes pointed forward. We're gonna go alternating legs, all right? So it really doesn't matter which leg you wanna start with, it's up to you. I'll give you the choice this time. Both toes stay pointed forwards. I want him driving through. Here, this is how I want you to do it, this is how I want you to do it. We're gonna step out to the side, get as low as we can, feet stay flat, and I'm gonna come right back to the middle. It's all right, you didn't know. You didn't know. I'm sure you guys made that mistake at home too. Good, now I want you driving through your whole foot, coming right back, good. So Kanoa's doing all of them on one side. If you want to do them all on one side and then all on the other side, that's fine with me. I personally like doing alternating just because it gives my leg a little bit of a break between each rep. But the important part here is I want Kanoa to try and keep his chest up as he comes down. Good, core stays tight. His toes stay pointed in the direction that he's facing. So if I start doing my lunges and all of a sudden my toe starts pointed forward, then this is just some kind of weird off forward lunge thing that's going on here, right? So my knees or my toes need to stay pointed in the direction that I'm facing to get these done. Good. And his toes are coming up a little bit here. I honestly would prefer his whole foot be flat. Good. How do those feel? Especially after all that weight that we did. Good. Let's get 1 more. Good, good. Now because we're not using any weight on his first set, it's important that our form is perfect, right? Because that's really gonna be where we get the work out of. This next set, I'm gonna give him a little 25-pound kettlebell just because he's my dummy for the day and I can kind of mess around with him a little bit. But remember, it's still 60 seconds to 90 seconds rest between each set. You guys at home have 3 sets. Us here, Kanoa's only gonna do 2 just because, I mean, he's already been working like a dog today. Good, you still got a little bit of time. A little bit of time. I want you to hold it just like a goblet, like you were doing a goblet squat. Like a chalice. Filled with whatever you like. Filled with pre-workout. Right. All right. Good. And even if, let's say, he had 2 dumbbells, he's just gonna hold those at his side and do that. Good, good. And what the kettlebell does, because he's holding it in front of him, it's gonna force him to keep his chest straight up and down a little bit more than if you were to have a barbell on his back or something like that. 8 to 10 each leg, so the volume is still high. Good, good. And he's doing a much better job now of keeping his foot completely flat and driving through his whole foot on each rep. Good, good. Good, we're just gonna give him 1 more on each leg. We're gonna call it a day for him. This will be your last rep. Attaboy. Good, good, go ahead, relax. Was that 7? Now, in our workout here today, we don't have anything programmed for calves, but if you guys, are worried about how your calves are looking, now would be a good time to kind of throw in some calf raises or whatever you have access to at home. I personally think jump rope. jump ropes and running sprints are going to be some of the best ways to build your calves. But for today's sake, for our leg day, we don't have a program just because some people care, some people don't, all right? But that's all we got today for your week 2 leg day. Make sure to do that workout twice this week. Same with your push day and your pull day, which will be coming at you guys soon. Thank you.